Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the Unbreakable Wisdom Show. We are on week 6, our final week of autumn alignment, and we'll move into talking about something else. At the last 6 weeks, I've been giving you a topic every week to sort of get you aligned for finishing the year strong. If you have missed shows or you have not printed the worksheets, which are completely free, you can visit unbreakablewisdom.com. You can watch or listen to all the past shows, and you can print all of the worksheets. The 2 G's, grit and gratitude. I think 2 things are really hard. There's a lot of things that are hard, but I think 2 things are especially hard. I think one, it's really hard to stick with the plan, especially if you're a small business owner or a single parent or someone who's trying to raise revenue or raise income. It's really hard to stick with the plan when you have a plan, you start along the plan, and it doesn't seem like anything's working, and you have to find your grit to stick with it, to keep going no matter what, even when it looks really awful and shitty and messy. Because on the other side of that is the breakthrough, is everything that you want. And in that middle part, which we've talked about a lot here on the show, but in that middle part, it's really hard to find the grit and perseverance within yourself to stick with the plan, to get up every day and do the number of things you've assigned yourself, stay consistent, stay disciplined in the face of no results. We talked last week about how you either have a result or you have no result. And then the other part of that is when you have to stay in the middle and keep going when it looks like nothing's happening. Because there will be a period of time when it looks like nothing's happening. And that, I think, is one of the hardest things to do, because most people, make up a plan for the solution. They start on the path to like the change or the transformation or the solution. And then they're in the middle and it looks really dark and awful and yucky and messy and it looks like nothing's happening. And then they give up. They say, this isn't the way. This wasn't the solution. This isn't the right thing for me. I can't do this. It's too hard. And then they drop that and they go pick something else. And then they encounter the same thing and they drop that and they go pick something else. And this is how I see it in small business people a lot. Their revenue goes up and down, up and down, up and down. And it's because they have all these great ideas. They start on something. They don't flush it all the way out and stick with it until it gives the result. So then they abandon it and then they go to something else. And you see this in bigger companies when they expand out too much with the brand. They make a new brand and then they have another brand and another brand and another brand. And they go out so wide that there's no real depth to any one of the things. So nothing really turns, nothing really works. The life cycle of transformation, a piece of that is being able to stand in the face of no results and still do the thing with a cheerful and grateful heart. And that's where the grit and gratitude come in. You have to be able to stand in the face of no results with a happy heart, being grateful for where you are and what you've had, and being grateful in advance for where you're going, and keep doing the thing in the face of no results. And honestly, most people don't have that kind of grit because they just give up too easily when it looks like nothing's happening. And in the middle of any cycle, like I said, of transformation or of anything, there's always a part where it looks like nothing's happening, because things cannot always be happening. That would be like if a flower was always growing and was never a seed and never, was dormant to rejuvenate itself and then grew again. Like, no, there isn't a time where it's always working like you want it to. It is, in fact, always working. It just isn't always working looking how we want it to look. because we have an idea of what our life is supposed to look like. And we have this idea that, like, oh, I'm going to make a change. I'm going to double my income. I'm going to lose 20 pounds. And then we think, number one, that we can stay the same person and get the new result. Wrong. Number two, we think we'll set upon this journey of change or transformation or doubling our income, whatever it is, and it will always feel like it's working and it will always feel good. And no, wrong. You have to be able to have enough grit to stomach the times when it looks like nothing's happening. And we're coming into like the winter season, right? So outside right now, it starts to look like nothing's happening. The leaves are falling off the trees. You know, your annuals, you had to cut them back now, or perennials rather, you had to cut them back. The annuals you had to pull out because they've done, you know, their season. It looks like nothing's happening. We'll start to look outside soon, at least here in Vermont, and it will be cold and it will be gray and it will be snowing and it will look like nothing's happening. Except under the ground, a lot is happening. And that's how you get excited about the tulips and the daffodils and the crocuses and all the things that come in the spring, right? But all winter, something was happening. It just didn't look like anything was happening. And this is true in your life as well. There's always a period of time where it looks like nothing's happening. It's called a cycle. It's called seasons. It's called life. So if you only are ever happy when you're going like a bastard and everything looks like it's working and everything's like falling in your favor and it's all great and it's all fast and it's all, you won't have the grit to withstand the other parts of the cycle. And this is grit and gratitude are characteristics to be called forth in the part of the cycle where it looks like nothing's happening. You know, your passion for something doesn't come instantly. It's cultivated. Your passion for your transformation is cultivated over time. It evolves through your exploration of ideas and your investigating and being curious. And as you're curious for ways that you can change or double your income or grow a business, you get passionate about what you're discovering. And then you make new goals and then you make a new plan. And we're going to talk in the coming weeks about your blueprint for 2026. Enthusiasm is common. Angela Duckworth has a quote. She says, enthusiasm is common, endurance is rare. You'll find a lot of people getting excited about a surface idea or a surface goal. And then when it's time to do the real work, when they have to dig in with commitment and discipline and consistency, and they have to sit in there when it looks like nothing is happening, man, that's hard. It is hard. I'm doing it right now. I had a vision for the way I want my business to be. I let some things go in April. I'm doing new things. I'm on a new track. And lots of the days it looks like nothing's happening the way that I thought it would. I'm okay with that because I'm well trained, but doesn't mean it feels good. It doesn't feel good. It feels terrible. It feels terrible. That's okay. Your perseverance, your ability to be able to sit in the middle when it looks like nothing's happening and keep going along, being grateful and joyful and happy, that is where you're going to get your win. That is how you become a consistently successful person that is continually developing themselves. This stuff doesn't fall on your head, you guys. Like, it's not just going to come from the sky, you know? You're not going to find some magical guru that's going to do a reading for you and they'll tell you a thing. And then all of a sudden you're going to walk out the door and every single thing in your life that sucks is now going to be magically transformed. It doesn't work that way. At least in 57 years, for all the people that I've coached, and it's been thousands, I've never seen it work that way. All the small business people that I've worked with, all of the individuals that I've worked with, it does not fall from the sky and land on your head and magically everything is taken care of. You have got to do the work. And when you do the work, when you have the grit and the perseverance and the discipline and the consistency and the joy to sit in the middle of the mess and keep on trucking, you will get the result. You will, in fact, get the result, and you will get the result in spades, because consistency and discipline pays off. And a growth mindset fuels grit, by the way, because grit, that ability to dig in, sit in the middle when nothing's working, and sit there happily and keep going and keep doing the next thing day after day after day after day. When you have a growth mindset and you know that you're headed somewhere and you want to expand yourself as a person, it makes it easier to dig in during those times when it's difficult. And then the gratitude piece. Gratitude is actually the foundation of forward motion. And I think people talk about gratitude like, oh, thank you very much for the pizza. Like, oh, I'm grateful. I said thank you. I'm good. I sent a card. I'm good. I'm a grateful person. I always send a thank you card. That's great. And that's part of it. That is not coming from a place of gratitude, because gratitude isn't just a feeling, it's a frequency. And what I mean by that is, weeks ago and often in the last 11 years, I have talked to you about, it's like you're one of those old-fashioned radiators that stands on the wall, the big metal things from the old houses. When those suckers radiate heat, you feel it in the whole room and it radiates out the heat. You are like that. Whatever is going on with you, you are radiating that out, and that is your frequency. And guess what the universe does? The universe matches your frequency. So if you're radiating out negativity and pissy attitude and ingratitude and complaints, guess what? Guess what your frequency is? Shitty. And guess what you're going to get back? The same stuff that you're radiating out. The universe sends you what you put out. It's a universal law. If you don't believe me, I don't really care. It's a law. It's a universal law. What you put out, you will get back. What you push out will come back to you. So gratitude is a frequency, and you get to that frequency by Esther Hicks and Abraham Hicks call an appreciation rampage, which is a great way to get yourself there. And that's like just starting to look around and appreciate every single thing you can see, like the people that made this Apple Mac laptop so that I could come live to you, the people that invented the fact that we can go live. I appreciate that. I appreciate Facebook. I appreciate all of you. I appreciate the people that watch the show. I like that, right? We call that an appreciation rampage. Just on and on and on. All the things, the people that built your house, the workmen that came to put all the things in place for the place that you live, like all the things that we don't even think about. That's an appreciation rampage. That's one way to up your frequency and get yourself into a more grateful state. And here's the thing about creating the future that you want, and even creating your 2026 the way that you want it to be. We can't move forward from a state of resentment, lack, or frustration. It's a sticking point, right? You'll stay stuck. And so when you're grateful for what's working, when you just start looking around for the things that are working, and there has to be some, because some people like to argue with me on this point and say, I have nothing to be grateful for, blah, 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 blah. There is always something, and you can start small. Did you wake up this morning? Cool. That's something to be grateful for. Do you have a phone? Cool. That's something to be grateful for. And onward, right? Because gratitude shifts your focus from what's missing, because most of us spend the day, believe it or not, thinking about what's missing, because we're thinking about what we need to do, where we need to go, how much money we need to still bring in, blah, 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 blah. We rarely take the pause and just go like, wow, I am just so grateful to be in this moment with you. I'm so grateful to be able to give back all the things that I've learned in 57 years. I'm so grateful that I created this show to be able to just give to you freely for no other reason than that I want to help you. Like, I'm really grateful for that. I'm grateful for the opportunity to do that. If you can't find gratitude where you are sitting, then you will struggle to have peace anywhere. If you can't just be grateful for what is working, then it's really hard for us to move you forward into the next thing, because you're constantly coming from a place of wanting. And talking about frequency, when you come from a place of wanting, and that's not as a goal, right? That's like vision and imaging, and that's different. What I'm talking about is when you're coming from a place of lack, where you are feeling like it isn't enough, or you're not enough, or you don't have enough, and you constantly, want to get somewhere different than where you are. When you don't have any gratitude in there, you're coming from this frequency of wanting. I'll be happy if, my life will be complete if, I'll be better if, I'll be happy when. Don't shortchange yourself like that. You have so much in your life that brought you to where you are. And in order for me to coach you into the 2026 that you want, I have to first get you to be grateful for where you are, even if it doesn't look the way that you want. And then there's a higher practice about being grateful in advance for the things that are headed your way. And I did a worksheet for you guys for week 6. And again, on unbreakablewisdom.com, free stuff at the top. And in there, I start to coach you into thinking about 2026 and how you want that to go down, and writing some of that out, being grateful as if it already has occurred. That's a very high practice. I get that. It's really hard. If someone's in a really shitty circumstance right now in their life, it's hard to get to a place where you're grateful for all the good that's on its way and all the good that is coming. So depending on where you are in your own personal transformation, personal development, take my words to heart accordingly, right? If you're in a really shitty place and it's really hard for you to just even get up in the morning, start small. Be grateful for what you can be grateful for. Have an appreciation rampage for the things that are around you that are supporting you. Could be as simple as getting up in the morning and having a cup of coffee, like whatever works for you. Start small. For those of you that have been with me for a while, or you've watched the show for the last decade on and off or whatever, like, let's get you to a higher place. Let's start you guys really looking at where you want to go and practicing gratitude in advance for the things that are headed your way. That gets you there faster. Whatever you are grateful for will multiply. Whatever you focus on will multiply. So if you improve your frequency and we can get you into a gratitude frequency, you will move faster along in the whole thing, including the middle will go by faster if you can be grateful for being in the middle. I know it's a lot to ask. I get it. I'm sitting in the middle of it myself, and I'm teaching it to you because I'm teaching it to me right along with you. You have to honor what already is so that you can bring in the new things. You cannot bring in change and transformation if you are bullshit about where you are and angry about the past. So there is a forgiveness course on the Teachable School. I think it's like $40, $39.99. I highly recommend anyone who's having trouble with forgiveness to go purchase that course. You can go to unbreakablewisdom.com and click take a class, and you can find it there. That is a really good course if you have resentment and animosity and things that you need to move past. And lots of times, by the way, it's forgiving ourselves. We have to forgive ourselves. We don't do that often. We forgive the other, like if we're moving on the path to personal development, we forgive other people. We forget to forgive ourselves. You have to forgive the version of yourself that you were when the thing occurred, because you might have a judgment that, who you are now, you shoulda, coulda, woulda back there. But you couldn't have, because you were not who you are now 10 years ago, 9 years ago, 1 year ago, even 6 months ago. Where in your life right now are you resisting gratitude because you wish things were different? I think that's a poignant question for all of us. Where are we resisting being grateful right now in this moment because things are not the way we want them to be? Because we wish that things were different. And so, to a certain extent, we're resisting being grateful for where we're sitting because it does not look the way that we want. And it's annoying. I get it. I really do get it. And so where every day are we losing the opportunity to be grateful because we're busy being unhappy that we're not moving as fast as we want, or our income isn't where we want it to be, or our business isn't working the way that we want. And so we're missing the opportunity to be grateful in this moment and appreciate the things that are and the things that we've created and what we've made manifest so far. When we resist the opportunities for gratitude, we're actually holding ourselves back from moving as fast as we could in the forward direction. So I'd love it this week if you really thought, and some of these questions I put in this worksheet. By the way, I make these worksheets for you every week. So they are completely free. You don't even need to give me your email address to get them. I really hope that you're putting them to use for yourself, because if you actually did the work, you would find them very useful. Again, unbreakablewisdom.com. At the top, there's a tab that says free stuff. Just click it, and all 6 of the worksheets are there. You don't even have to give me your email address to get them, which my marketing people would tell me that's incredibly stupid. But I just sometimes think that people don't take advantage of free things because they have to give their email address and they don't want another, wretched email. They don't want to get added to the list or whatever. You're certainly welcome to join my list, but you don't have to join my list to get this free stuff. I think that's just important to note. So, where are you in your life resisting gratitude because you wish things were different? And then the second piece of that is, what would you change if you started appreciating what is instead of fighting what isn't? I'll say that again. What would change if you started appreciating what is versus fighting what isn't? We tend to spend a lot of our times fighting against, what we don't have or what we haven't yet created. And by fighting against, I mean we live in anxiety and angst because we don't have it. We look at our bank balance and it's not what we want it to be, or we sit next to somebody that has much more than we do and we get in our head about what we don't have and how we're not good, like whatever. Listen, you are where you are and you got yourself there. And two things are true. One, you've got to be grateful for where you are. And two, you can get yourself to a different place. You can get yourself to wherever you want to go. That's the good news. And in order to do that, you have to have gratitude for where you are. There isn't another way. You cannot move on to what's next and hold it up if you are angry about where you are now. Like, that's like running. My son owns a gym, and part of the training that he does with the athletes is he hooks chains, like big, huge metal chains, onto this thing and then ties it to their waist. And then they have to run dragging these chains. And like, that is literally what it's like when you are ungrateful and you are trying to move forward. It's not impossible. It's just incredibly hard. You have to work that much harder. And for an athlete in training, that's a good thing because, they're being taught strength and resilience and endurance and all the things. But for you in your life, like, it doesn't have to be that hard for you. It doesn't have to be that hard. You have to get out of your own way. You have to stop being negative Nelly. You have to stop whining and bitching and complaining and being so angry about where you are that you cannot move past it and that you cannot have gratitude for it. I cannot express this to you enough times. Have gratitude for where you're sitting, even if it's in the messy middle. And know that by your pouring gratitude and appreciation on all the things, you will move that much faster to go where you want to go. There is always a time in the middle where it looks like nothing's happening. And gratitude and grit will move you faster through that time. The grit to keep doing the things no matter what it looks like so that you can get the result that you want. So even when it looks like nothing's happening, you just joyfully keep on going and stick with the plan. As Layla Hermosi says, stick with the plan. No matter how you feel, stick with the plan. No matter what's going on, stick with the plan. Layla's been saying that for a few years. I've been saying it for 20 years. Stick with the plan. No matter how you feel, it doesn't matter how you feel. Just keep doing the things you have to do and keep going. That's how you get the results that you want. Discipline, consistency, gratitude, grit. I cannot say these things enough times to you guys. So this week, I invite you to have an appreciation rampage in the middle of your life, right now, wherever you are. I invite you to print these worksheets and do this work for yourself. Because if we can raise your frequency, if we can get you into a gratitude frequency, you will just see so much magic in your life. You will see things move so much faster for you. So many amazing things come from a state of gratitude and a spirit of appreciation. And obviously, we're coming into November, which is the time that everyone focuses on gratitude. Here's the thing though, focusing on gratitude only in November is not enough. It's not enough. It's great, but it isn't enough. Gratitude and appreciation are something that should be a daily part of your life. And I don't want to shit on you. So they really will enhance your life. Gratitude and appreciation and making that a daily part of your existence and part of your daily practice will enhance the quality of your life. It will also help you get to your goals faster. Okay. So I really, 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 really invite you to do this work this week for yourself. And this big question about where in your life are you resisting being grateful because things are not the way that you want them to be. I think that's probably a big one for all of us. So there's a huge opportunity there, right? There's a huge opportunity for transformation. Okay. So visit unbreakablewisdom.com, check out all the things, take that forgiveness class. If forgiveness is a sticking point for you, it's a good one and it will help you. And I will see you next week. Take care. Have a good week. Be grateful.